Hello guys and welcome back. So at the start of this year, I was still quite busy building this small nano gallery that I have. So all throughout this year, I've created a bunch of different scapes for this gallery. I've had so much fun doing it, scaping them, also enjoying the tanks on a daily basis. But now it's just time for something new. So I'm completely ready for that. I want to do another iwagumi scape, but I want to make it a lot less conventional. So what I mean by less conventional is most iwagumis, not all, but are using cerulean stone. So this is like a very beautiful stone. I really do like it. This is a dark version, so it's not acid washed, but I don't feel like using this today. I want to use a different type of rock. So for today's scape, I'm going to be using these rocks. So they kind of look like almost like eggs, right? Like the perfect Easter egg. So these are Mexican river rocks. And I got them from a small Californian-based company that only sell premium hardscape. So I've talked about them before on the channel. They really sell some very, very cool stuff. In no way am I affiliated with them. So that means if you get anything from the link in the description, I will leave it in the description if you're interested in these rocks. I do not make any money off it. It's just if you want to get yourself some very cool rocks. Just quickly want to show you some of these rocks close up because some of them are like, they're very, very cool. So there are different sorts of colors, but what I really like is they're freckled. They kind of have like these dark gray green freckles on them. So I think that's going to look like really cool once the rocks are submerged in the tank. And being an iwagumi, I really want to like choose the most interesting stones, the one that I like the most, because it's going to make all the difference. Okay, so enough on the rocks. The tank I'm going to be scaping today is, I don't know like what size this is anymore. I will put that on the screen. Like, I'm sorry, today I'm just so unorganized. I don't know what I'm doing today. It's just one of those days where you think you've organized yourself, but you haven't. So just bear with me. So just for, you know, practical purposes and scaping purposes, I'm going to be using a different light. The light that's going to be going on this tank is the same as all the other ones. It's a B30 from Chihiros. This one is from Twin Star. I don't recommend it because it's kind of flimsy, but it does the trick. Also, I don't really recommend this light. I'm saying this because I've had numerous problems with this actual light. I've had to change the plug of this light 2 times now, and I've had it for about a year. So I'm not completely satisfied with the quality of the light and how it's built itself. So that's why I'm saying that. But again, this is just my experience with this light. Maybe you guys have similar models that are just fine. Okay, so let's start with the aqua soil. So personally, I use aqua soil in all my tanks, and especially when I'm trying to grow carpeting plants. If you know, you can grow them in other types of substrate. It's not that that doesn't work, but you're going to have like less of a good result if you don't use like a nutrient rich base. So this, like, it really, really works well for carpeting plants. So I do want one side to be higher than the other. So I'm going to add some aqua soil in this section right here. Geez, like everything is just harder today. I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through today. It's fine. So you guys may have noticed that Dimitri is in this very small tank. Obviously, it's not his tank. This is too small for a better fish. It's because I'm actually dosing meds on him. He's been bloated for the past few days, and it's just easier in a small tank to water change and to dose medication accordingly. It can also keep a close eye on him. And yeah, he's just been very bloated, and he's now doing better. So I'm wondering if it's because he's eaten a bunch of snails, because he does actually take them down. So as always, I'm just going to try like a few different types of placements and see what I like best. So obviously, if you want to try an iwagumi scape or an iwagumi inspired build yourself, you don't have to apply rules, but do know that like for a classic iwagumi scape, there are rules. So for it to be like a real iwagumi, it needs to be one sort of rock, doesn't really matter which kind, it has to be one sort of plant. And it's 3 to 9 pieces of rock, the biggest ones giving the sense of direction. But again, like you can do as you please. So personally, I like to start out by choosing my biggest pieces. And when I've chosen my biggest pieces, I then try to orient the scape in a certain direction. But that's just what I do. Doesn't mean it's correct. So over the past years, I've done so many different types of scapes. And I have to say that iwagumi scapes is just something else. You'd think just adding a bunch of rocks to an aquarium doesn't have any particular type of difficulty, but let me tell you that it does. So if you're somebody that's never tried an iwagumi, the day you try is the day you understand how difficult a scape like this is, especially in a very small tank. Obviously, there's only so much rocks I can put in and proportions that I have to respect. So the tank is really not that deep. I believe it's 18 centimeters deep, so that's not a lot of room to maneuver. So after struggling for a decent amount of time, I did the next best thing. Is I called one of my best friends, which happens to be an aquascaper, just like me. So we talked a little bit about what I was trying to achieve with the scape, and Eloise laughed a lot at me because obviously using round rocks is quite a big difficulty, especially when we're trying to find a sense of direction. So after a lot of back and forth talking about different flow styles, sloping techniques, I was ready to get back to work. So thank you, Eloise, for your legendary patience. So I could have just put these rocks in the tank and shown you guys the final result and said that I haven't struggled at all. But, you know, I just want to be transparent in what I'm doing on my channel. And yeah, sometimes some scapes are really difficult and they take a toll on me sometimes, especially when I can't achieve exactly what I wanted. So not gonna lie, it's been about an hour now that I've been trying different layouts of the rocks, swapping the rocks around. This is the layout that I'm the most content with. Is it the best layout? Probably not, but this is to the best of my ability. I'm not willing to spend like another few hours positioning the same rocks because like I feel like I'm gonna lose it at this point. What's been particularly challenging with these rocks is because they don't have you know, like deep grooves, they're not pointy, they don't have like very sharp edges. It's very, very hard to give flow to the scape, to give direction to the scape, because everything is very round and it's very difficult to give movement to something that's round. So at least for me, that's a very big difficulty. And I kind of understand why there are not many round rocked iwagumis. So the carpeting plant I've chosen for this iwagumi scape is my random tweedy Monte Carlo. I have no idea if I said that right, but it's a really, really nice carpeting plant. It has bigger leaves than the HC Cuba kind. It is also a lot more tolerant in low tech setup. So this is a good alternative if you're having trouble growing the HC Cuba kind of Monte Carlo. This one is a good alternative to try. So again, as always, what I'm doing here is preparing the carpeting plant. So what I like to do is I like to break off really small sections before I start to plant. It just makes planting a lot more faster. It's also more efficient. And the smaller these little bunches are, the easier it is to plant them into the substrate, because sometimes when they're too big, there's a tendency for the plants to come back up once the tank is filled. Okay, so I'm officially finished planting. I'm going to put it into place and fill up the tank. To fill up the tank and avoid the Monte Carlo coming back up to the surface, or even the aqua soil at the back just rolling forwards, I'm going to use this plastic bottle with a small hole. It's just slowly going to pour the water inside the tank. Okay, so I've filled up the tank, I've started the filter. For now, everything's fine. Nothing has floated up to the surface. So I have to say, this was, as much as it can seem silly, it can seem simple. This was not an easy scape for me. It was quite challenging, especially for rocks. It was very difficult. I will be making a second video where I show you guys a whole month of growth with this carpet. So again, this tank is not going to be running with CO2. So guys, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me struggle today. And I will see you next Monday for a new video.